This is Dylan and Aaron from Articulated Reviews coming at you with 3 of the new Constuct bots.
Okay, so if you've seen our review of the Bumblebee Constuct bot, you kind of know what's going on here. We're going to kind of rapid fire through 3 of them. We're not going to detail like the Constuct bots themselves. We're just going to look at the figures and kind of give you our opinions on them. Alright, so we're starting off with Soundwave here. He's an elite class. As you can see, here's the box. It's a little bit bigger. It does come with the plastic tray that you can save because they're durable plastic.
So this time around, we are starting with the vehicle mode.
Yep, this is Soundwave and his Cybertronian jet. It's pretty cool. I do really like the wings on this one. They're nice and sharp and jagged.
It actually reminds me a lot of Soundwave's jet form from Transformers Cybertron. It's got kind of a similar look.
Yeah, but I do really like this guy. Quick, since we have him out, I will point out how the transformation is the same for all these figures. We'll just kind of get that out of the way. So far, I've dealt with 4 of these Constuct bots, and every one's been the same. This is the chest piece here. This is the back. Head goes in the chest, back flips up. Legs spin around, fold under, and peg in here. Arms peg into the thighs, and then you just handle the kibble differently. But you can see how with these we will be able to swap parts because they do transform exactly the same, and the scale is pretty much identical. But yeah, I really do like this figure. He's a nice little compact package, actually. I mean, he's big, but there isn't a lot of space floating around in between. He's pretty solid.
I think the kibble is really what differentiates this guy from some of the other flyer Constuct bots. Just makes him look a little bit more finished. He's not as, when we get to Starscream, I'll explain further, but he seems more complete.
Yeah, I really like him. Some good paint there, a little bit of yellow around the back window here. A little bit of yellow, a whole lot of blue. I like him.
Yeah, not too bad at all.
Alright, let's take a look at his robot mode.
Soundwave's got quite a bit of kibble going on, I'm noticing, in his robot mode. Like, generally on his arms and on his legs, it's pretty much the same kind of kibble we saw in the Bumblebee with a few added additions. Like these shoulder cannons.
Yeah, the shoulder cannons, you can flip them down. They flip down like this. You can do either or. In the packaging, they have one down, one up. The wings, this is kind of how they show it on the package. I think they look better turned in. I think it makes his silhouette look a little cleaner. You know what I mean? He's not such a wide thing.
The wings do look slightly less cluttered this way, but I don't really think it works in the long run. I'd like to point out, too, I think the reason they got the cannons going back like that is if you want to emulate Soundwave's G1 cannon. I think that's what they were going for, the one that's always on his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. It does have kind of a G1 look to it, the coloring and the screen there and everything. I do really like the subdued yellow. You kind of get like a yellow outline when you look at them straight on. I really do like that.
Most of the time, the Constuct bots, their skeleton is usually either black or gray or a grayish silver. So it's kind of a nice change of pace that this time around, Soundwave, his skeleton is mostly yellow.
Here we can take a look at the head sculpt. Beautiful Soundwave head sculpt. Very G1 looking. Yeah, overall, I do really like this figure. Alright, here we've got my favorite out of the bunch that we're looking at, the Autobot Weapons Specialist, Ironhide.
Ironhide's got a lot going for him. He's in his vehicle mode. He's very, somewhat G1 inspired. He's got kind of a truckish van thing going on, even though he doesn't quite pull it off. But it's kind of what I imagine, like, a van on Cybertron would look like.
Yeah, there's that word again, Cybertron. I do like it, but it's really abstract to me. It's kind of...
It doesn't, again, same problem with a lot of the vehicles in this line. The vehicle mode doesn't really look like anything. I'm just kind of pulling words out right now, trying to apply them to this thing because I can't really think of what it actually is supposed to be.
I noticed too with most of these, it seems like the front end of the vehicle modes is filled out a lot more than the back end. I think that's because you get the nice feet and the chest up here, which is kind of the main features of the Constuct bots, but then the back ends up being real hollow. I will say he's got kind of like a Mars rover look going on in the back here.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that at first. It does kind of give off that sort of vibe.
And since we got him out, he is a scout class.
Got his box right here. Very nice packaging. I'm almost tempted to hold on to this box because it's so gorgeous looking. And it says Scout Class right there.
Since we're talking about the different classes of these Scout Class guys were $9.99, which I think is an amazing price point. Especially since right now I've been really disappointed with the pricing, at least on the deluxes. I mean, we picked up a couple today, $15 plus tax. I think that's insane, especially when you consider here we have Fall of Cybertron Jazz, who is a deluxe class, $15. $10 for this. That's insane. This is so much more toy for your money.
It is kind of disappointing when the subline is putting out larger, more, larger figures with more stuff for, $5 less.
And that's not to say, quality is necessarily better or worse. With Jazz, I would say it's definitely worse. But besides that, it really does show that, I think they can price the deluxes more competitively.
And I'm wondering if this price point is going to be any sort of indication to Hasbro that maybe things should be lowered a tiny bit.
Yeah, but that's enough ranting about prices. Let's get back to Ironhide. He is my favorite so far out of the Constuct bots.
I think, so far at least, Soundwave has the most to offer, and he's the most well done of the three. But let's look at this guy more in depth and maybe it'll change my mind. So now that we've got Ironhide transformed, here is his robot mode.
I really like this one. A lot less kibble, a lot more compact, no big wings hanging off or anything like that.
Somehow the figure manages to really pull off G1 Ironhide, even more so than the vehicle mode, which doesn't really resemble anything. Like, I see this and I'm like, oh, this is Ironhide. Like, from the head sculpt to the overall look of the figure.
Yeah, it pulls off Ironhide a lot better than most of the normal figures we've gotten recently of him.
There's not too much else to go into with this guy. I mean, he's really just a solid Ironhide in nearly every aspect.
Yeah, everything, works real good with him. You've got the nice Autobot symbol in the center I really like. I like how the wheels fold up on his arms here. They just fold up nice and easy. Nice and compact. Nice little figure.
Ironhide also comes with a little gun attachment that you can put on several places in robot vehicle mode.
Yeah, the gun's alright. I don't like how it's got ports all over the sides of it. I mean, you could plug more guns into it, I guess. But I'd rather have it if these were filled out more with, normal detail, not just areas to stick more weapons.
And this is just for me personally. I would have liked it if we would have gotten maybe a few more guns with Ironhide. Considering he's the Autobots weapons specialist, I feel like he should have had more. Here's a closer look at Ironhide's head sculpt.
Really nice one. I like he's almost got kind of a little smirk going on there.
This is pretty much, quality G1 homaging right here. 100% G1 looking. Really nice paint on there. Very, very, very good representation of Ironhide.
And the only thing with these head sculpts I've really noticed is we don't get any kind of light piping, which would have been really nice.
That's mostly because the back is completely empty. I mean, you can see the actual ball joint in there for the head articulation.
Yeah, I suppose, but I think maybe they could open up, maybe in the back a little bit, or maybe just made the eyes clear would have been cool, out of some sort of clear plastic. And here to finish off the trio that we're looking at today, we've got Starscream.
For his box, it's pretty much the same as as Ironhide's. There's nothing really changed except for the art, obviously. Just giving you guys a quick look. I'm not the biggest fan of this vehicle mode. It's just kind of boring to me, very plain.
I'm actually more of a fan of this vehicle mode, this plane mode, than the Soundwave one. I think this one seems much more stealthy, more streamlined. Looks more like something that would actually fly. I really like the chain guns, and I like the overall kind of boomerang shape, and then the cockpit comes out.
The chain guns are cool, but I would have preferred something a little bit more G1. Maybe Starscream's null rays in some form, which I think these are attempting to substitute for. I'm not a big fan of them myself. And also, I think in this vehicle mode, more so than some of the others we've looked at today, the visible fists, I think, are kind of an issue. They're just really blatant and really just staring you in the face.
Yeah, the fists do kind of stick out. Looks like we've got one of them backwards there, but not really a big deal. But I really like I like the paint. I like the red and blue. You can clearly see it. I really like the holes here, some kind of venting for something. You can see those right there. But I don't know. This is probably my favorite plane we've looked at if you compare this to Soundwave and Bumblebee.
I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum as far as this vehicle mode. I think Soundwave is the more complete package. This guy is just really barren. He doesn't really do that much for me personally.
Oh, Starscream was so close to making him be my favorite Construct bot so far. I love the vehicle mode. This mode, though, it's just, it's so almost there, but there's a few things that really throw it off for me.
I'm a huge Starscream fan, so I really, really, really wanted to get this guy, but he's just, every time I look at him, there's just more and more disappointment from his just incredibly skinny figure to a couple of design choices I don't agree with.
As far as the character design goes, I like this figure. It's more the mechanical issues that bother me. For one, his transformation, his back piece, as you can see there, is kind of floating way off. It doesn't clip and bend in like the other Construct bots. It just kind of hangs.
At least from what I could tell in the instructions, it didn't say anything about what to do with his backpack.
Well, and you can just look at it too. If you look here, the pegs are in the way, right here, so it can't fold down any closer than that. On top of the weird backpack thing, the wings I'm not a big fan of. I do understand though, with the way these Constructabots are set up, the way they transform, there's really no way getting around the wing kibble though. I don't like it, but I understand that there's really not much else they can do about it unless they did parts transforming, which would just be a cheap way out.
I'm just wondering, like, in the future, if we can expect the Construct bots to get maybe more sophisticated, because I think the way they are now, my biggest problem with them is they're just a little too simple.
And I think the problem with that is if they did try to make them more complicated, the interchangeability won't work. We haven't really played with it at all, but a big thing is supposed to be, you can make your own transformer, you can mix and match the parts. And the reason that works is because of the simple transformation that they all have.
Most, if not all, of the skeletons from what I've seen so far, the black parts, right here, the skeletons, they're identical. So that's a big part of why they're so easily interchangeable. I don't know if this is an issue pertaining to a lot of Constructbot Starscreams, but mine has some sort of paint issue going on, or a plastic issue, where half of his head is black and the other half is gray.
Yeah, on the box art, the whole head is black, but Dylan's is, kind of got a two-face thing going on.
Yeah, I don't know why it wound up like this. I kind of want to see another one of these just to see if it's a very common issue or if it's just a really rare thing that I happen to get.
Thanks for watching the video and taking a look at these last few Constructabots we have. When new ones come out, we'll probably throw up reviews of them, so you can take a look at those guys too.
Ratings of any kind are always appreciated, guys. Please check out our other videos. We're a growing channel. It really helps us out.